When shall we three meet again in thunder, lightning, or in rain?
When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won.
That will be ere the set of sun.
Where the place?
Upon the heath.
There to meet with Macbeth.
I come, Grey Malkin.
Anon!
Fair is foul and foul is fair. Hover through the fog and fill the air.
What bloody man is that? He can report, as seemeth by his plight, of the revolt, the new estate.
This is the sergeant who, like a good and hardy soldier, fought against my captivity. Hail, brave friend, say to the king the knowledge of the broil as thou didst leave it.
Doubtful it stood, as two spent swimmers that cling together and choke their art. The merciless MacDonald, worthy to be a rebel, from the western isles of kerns and gallaglasses is supplied, and fortune on his damned quarrel smiling showed like a rebel's whore. But all's too weak for brave Macbeth. Well he deserves that name, disdaining fortune with brandished steel which smoked with bloody execution like valor's minion carved out his passage till he faced the slave, and ne'er shook hands nor bade farewell to him till he unseamed him from the nave to the chops and fixed his head upon our battlements.
Valiant cousin, worthy gentleman!
Mark, King of Scotland, mark. No sooner justice had with valor armed compelled these skipping kerns to trust their heels, but the Norwegian lord surveying vantage with furbished arms and new supplies of men began a fresh assault.
Dismay not this our captains, Macbeth and Banquo.
Yes, as sparrows eagles or the hare the lion. If I say sooth, I must report they were as cannons overcharged with double cracks, so they doubly redoubled strokes upon the foe. Except they meant to bathe in reeking wounds or memorize another Golgotha, I cannot tell. But I am faint. I gasp his cry for help.
So well thy words become thee as thy wounds. They smack of honor both. Go get him surgeons. Who comes here?
The worthy Thane of Ross.
God save the king.
Whence camest thou, worthy Thane?
From Fife, great king, where the Norwegian banners flout the sky and fan our people cold. Norway himself, with terrible numbers, assisted by that most disloyal traitor, the Thane of Cawdor, began a dismal conflict, till that Macbeth, lapped in proof, confronted him with self-comparisons, point against point, rebellious, arm against arm, curbing his lavish spirit, and to conclude, the victory fell on us!
Great happiness!
Hail!
No more that Thane of Cawdor shall deceive our bosom interest. Go pronounce his present death, and with his former title, greet Macbeth.
I'll see it done.
What he hath lost, noble Macbeth has won.
Where's that been, sister?
Killing swine.
Oh.
Sister, where thou?
A sailor's wife had chestnuts in her lap, and munched and munched and munched. Give me, quoth I, a right bewitch the rum-fed Runyon cries. Her husband's to Lepogon, master of the Tiger, but in a sieve I thither sail, and like a rat without a tail, I'll do, and I'll do.
I'll give thee a wing.
Thou art kind.
And I another.
I myself have all the others. And the very ports they blow, all the quarters that they know in the shipman's card. I shall drain him dry as hay. Sleep shall neither night nor day fall upon his penthouse lid. He shall live a man forbid. Weary Sedanites 9 times 9 shall he dwindle, peak and pine. Though his bark cannot be lost, yet it shall be tempest tossed. Look what I have.
Show me. Show me.
Here I have a pilot's thumb, wrapped as homeward he did come.
A drum. A drum. Macbeth doth come.
The weird sisters, hand in hand, posters of the sea and land, thus to go about, thrice to thine, and thrice to mine, and thrice again to make up 9. Peace, the charms wound up.
So foul and fair a day I have not seen.
How far is called to forest? What are these? So withered and so wild in their attire, that look not like the inhabitants of the earth, and yet are on't. Live you? Or are you aught that man may question? You seem to understand me by each at once, her chappy finger laying upon her skinny lips. You should be women, yet your beards forbid me to interpret that you are so.
Speak, if you can, what are you?
All hail, Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Glom.
All hail, Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor.
All hail, Macbeth, that shalt be king hereafter.
Good sir, why do you start and seem to fear things that do sound so fair? In the name of truth, are ye fantastical, or that indeed which outwardly you show? My noble partner, you greet with present grace and great prediction, noble having and of royal hope, that he seems rapt withal. To me you speak not. If you can look into the seeds of time, and say which grain will grow and which will not, speak then to me, who neither beg nor fear your favors nor your hate.
Hail!
Hail!
Lesser than Macbeth and greater.
Not so happy, yet much happier.
Thou shalt get kings, though thou be none. So all hail Macbeth and Banquo!
Banquo and Macbeth, all hail!
Stay! You imperfect speakers, tell me more. By Sinno's death, I know I am Thane of Glamis, but how of Cawdor? The Thane of Cawdor lives, a prosperous gentleman, and to be king stands not within the prospect of belief, no more than to be Cawdor. Say from whence you owe this strange intelligence, or why, upon this blasted heath, you stop our way with such prophetic greeting. Speak, I charge you.
The earth hath bubbles as the water has. These are of them. Whither are they vanished?
Into the air. And what seemed corporal melted as breath into the wind.
Would they had stayed? Were such things here as we do speak about? Or have we eaten on the insane root that takes the reason prisoner?
Your children shall be kings,
You shall be king.
and Thane of Cawdor too. Went it not so?
To the self-same tune and words. Who's here?
The king hath happily received, Macbeth, the news of thy success, and when he reads thy personal venture in the rebels' fight, his wonders and his praises do contend, which should be thine or his. And, as an earnest of a greater honor, he bade me from him call thee Thane of Cawdor. In which addition, hail, most worthy Thane, for it is thine.
What, can the devil speak true?
The Thane of Cawdor lives. Why do you dress me in borrowed robes?
Who was the Thane lives yet, but under heavy judgment bears that life which he deserves to lose.
Thanks for your pains. Do you not hope your children shall be kings? When those that gave the Thane of Cawdor to me promised no less to them.
That trusted home might yet enkindle you unto the crown, besides the Thane of Cawdor. But 'tis strange, and oftentimes, to win us to our harm, the instruments of darkness tell us truths, win us with honest trifles, to betray us in deepest consequence. Cousin, a word, I pray you.
Two truths are told as happy prologues to the swelling act of the imperial theme. I thank you, gentlemen. This supernatural soliciting cannot be ill, cannot be good. If ill, why hath it given me earnest of success commencing in a truth? I am Thane of Cawdor. If good, why do I yield to that suggestion whose horrid image doth unfix my hair and make my seated heart knock at my ribs against the use of nature? Present fears are less than horrible imaginings. My thought, whose murder yet is but fantastical, shakes so my single state of man that function is smothered in surmise, and nothing is but what is not.
Look how our partner's wrapped.
If chance may have me king, why chance may crown me, without my stir.
New honors come upon him like our strange garments, cleave not to their mold, but with the aid of use.
Come what come may, time and the hour runs through the roughest day.
Worthy Macbeth, we stay upon your leisure.
Give me your favor. My dull brain was wrought with things forgotten. Kind gentlemen, your pains are registered where every day I turn the leaf to read them. Let us toward the king. Think upon what hath chanced, and that more time, the interim having waited, let us speak our hearts free each to other.
Very gladly.
Till then, enough. Come, friends.
Is execution done on Cawdor?
My liege.
Are not those in commission yet returned?
They are not yet come back, but I have spoke with one that saw him die, who did report that very frankly he confessed his treason, implored your highness pardon, and set forth a deep repentance. Nothing in his life became him like believing it. He died as one that had been studied in his death to throw away the dearest thing he owed, as 'twere a careless trifle.
There's no art to find the mind's construction in the face. He was a gentleman on whom I built an absolute trust. Worthiest cousin, the sin of my ingratitude even now is heavy on me. Would thou hadst less deserved, that the proportion both of thanks and payment might have been mine. Only I have left to say, more is thy due than more than all can pay.
The service and the loyalty I owe, in doing it pays itself. Your highness' part is to receive our duties, and our duties are to your throne and state, children and servants, which do but what they should by doing everything, safe toward your love and honor.
Welcome hither. I have begun to plant thee, and will labor to make thee full of growing. Noble Banquo, that hast no less deserved, nor must be known no less to have done so. Let me enfold thee only to my heart.
There, if I grow, the harvest is your own.
My plenteous joys, wanton in fullness, seek to hide themselves in drops of sorrow. Sons, kinsmen, thanes, and you whose places are the nearest, know we will establish our estate upon our eldest Malcolm, whom we name hereafter Prince of Cumberland. Which honor must not unaccompanied invest him only, but signs of nobleness like stars shall shine on all deservers. From hence to Inverness, and bind us further to you.
The rest is labor which is not used for you. I'll be myself the harbinger, and make joyful the hearing of my wife with your approach. So humbly take my leave.
My worthy Cawdor!
The Prince of Cumberland. That is a step on which I must fall down, or else o'erleap, for in my way it lies. Stars, hide your fires. Let not light see my black and deep desires. The eye wink at the hand, yet let that be which the eye fears when 'tis done to see.
They met me in the day of success, and I have learned by the perfectest report they have more in them than mortal knowledge. When I burned in desire to question them further, they made themselves air into which they vanished. Whilst I stood wrapped in the wonder of it, came missives from the king, who all hailed me Thane of Cawdor, by which title before these weird sisters saluted me, and referred me to the coming on of time with Hail King that shall be. This have I thought good to deliver thee, my dearest partner of greatness, that thou mightst not lose the dues of rejoicing by being ignorant of what greatness is promised thee. Lay it to thy heart and farewell. Glamis thou art, and Cawdor, and shalt be what thou art promised. Yet do I fear thy nature. It is too full the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way. Thou wouldst be great, art not without ambition, but without the illness should attend it. What thou wouldst highly, that wouldst thou holily, wouldst not play false, and yet wouldst wrongly win. Thou'st have a great Glamis, that which cries, thus thou must do if thou have it, and that which rather thou dost fear to do than wishest should be undone. Hie thee hither, that I may pour my spirits in thine ear, and chastise with the valor of my tongue all that impedes thee from the golden round, which fate and metaphysical aid doth seem to have thee crowned withal. What is your tidings?
The king comes here tonight.
Thou art mad to say it. Is not thy master with him, who wert so would have informed for preparation?
So please you, it is true. Our Thane is coming. One of my fellows had the speed of him, who, almost dead for breath, had scarcely more than would make up his message.
Give him tending, he brings great news. The raven himself is hoarse that croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here and fill me from the crown to the toe, top full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood, stop up the access and passage to remorse, that no compunctious visitings of nature shake my fell purpose, nor keep peace between the effect and it. Come to my woman's breast and take my milk for gall, you murdering ministers, wherever in your sightless substances you waked on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and pall thee in the dunnest smoke of hell, that my keen knife see not the wound it makes, nor heaven peep through the blanket of the dark to cry, hold, hold. Great Glamis, worthy Cawdor, greater than both by the all-hail hereafter. Thy letters have transported me beyond this ignorant present, and I feel now the future in the instant.
My dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight.
And when goes hence?
Tomorrow, as he purposes.
Oh, never shall sun that morrow see. Your face, my Thane, is as a book where men may read strange matters. To beguile the time, look like the time. Bear welcome in your hand, your eye, your tongue. Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under't. He that's coming must be provided for, and you shall put this night's great business into my dispatch, which shall for all our days and nights to come give solely sovereign sway and masterdom.
We will speak further.
Only look up clear. To alter favor ever is to fear. Leave all the rest to me.
This castle hath a pleasant seat. The air, nimbly and sweetly, recommends itself to our gentle senses.
This gust of summer, the temple hunting market does prove by his loved mansionry that the heaven's breath smells wooingly here.
See, our honored hostess. The love that follows us sometime is our trouble, but still we thank his love. Herein I teach you how you shall bid God yield us for your pains and thank us for your trouble.
All our service and every point twice done and then done double were poor and single business to contend against those honors deep and broad wherewith your majesty loads our house. For those of old and the late dignities heaped up to them, we rest your hermits.
Where's the Thane of Cawdor, huh? We course him at the heels, and have purpose to be his purveyor, but he rides well, and his great love, sharp as his spur, hath holp him to his home before us. Fair and noble hostess, we are your guest tonight.
Your servants ever have theirs themselves in what is theirs incompt to make their audit at your highness' pleasure, still to return your own.
Give me your hand, conduct me to mine host. We love him highly, and shall continue our graces towards him. By your leave, hostess!
If it were done, when 'tis done, then 'twere well it were done quickly. If the assassination could trammel up the consequence and catch, with his surcease success, that but this blow might be the be-all and the end-all here. But here, upon this bank and shoal of time, we jump the life to come. But in these cases, we still have judgment here, that we but teach bloody instruction, which being taught, return to plague the inventor. This even-handed justice commends the ingredients of our poisoned chalice to our own lips. He's here, in double trust. First, as I am his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed. Then, as his host, who should against the murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his faculties so meek, hath been so clear in his great office, that his virtues will plead like angels, trumpet-tongued, against the deep damnation of his taking off, and pity, like a naked newborn babe, striding the blast, or heaven's cherubim, horsed upon the sightless couriers of the air, shall blow the horrid deed in every eye, that tears shall drown the wind. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which o'erleaps itself and falls on the other. How now, what news?
He has almost supped. Why have you left the chamber?
Have he asked for me?
Know you not he has.
We will proceed no further in this business. He hath honored me of late, and I have bought golden opinions from all sorts of people, which would be worn now in their newest gloss, not cast aside so soon.
Was the hope drunk wherein you dressed yourself? Hath it slept since? And wakes it now to look so green and pale at what it did so freely? From this time, such I account thy love. Art thou afeard to be the same in thine own act and valor as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have that which thou esteemest the ornament of life, and live a coward in thine own esteem, letting I dare not wait upon I would, like the poor cat of the attic?
Prithee, peace! I dare do all that may become a man. Who dares do more is none.
What beast wast then that made you break this enterprise to me? When you durst do it, then you were a man. And to be more than what you were, you would be so much more the man. Nor time nor place did then adhere, and yet you would make both. They have made themselves, and that their fitness now does unmake you. I have given suck, and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it was smiling in my
we should fail.
Fail! But screw your courage to the sticking place, and we'll not fail. When Duncan is asleep, where to the rather shall his day's hard journey soundly invite him? His two chamberlains will I, with wine and wassail, so convince that memory, the warder of the brain, shall be a fume, and the receipt of reason a limbeck only. When in swinish sleep their drenched natures lie as in a death, what cannot you and I perform upon the unguarded Duncan? What not put upon his spongy officers who shall bear the guilt of our great quell?
Bring forth men, children only. For thy undaunted mettle should compose nothing but males. Will it not be received? When we have marked with blood those sleepy two of his own chamber, and used their very daggers that they have done,
Who dares receive it other, as we shall make our griefs and clamor roar upon his death?
I am settled. And to bend up each corporal agent to this terrible feat. Away! Mock the time with fairest show. False face must hide what the false heart doth know.
How goes the night, boy?
Moon is down. Have not heard the clock.
She goes down at 12.
I take it 'tis later, sir.
Oh, take my sword. There's husbandry in heaven. Their candles are all out. Take you that, too. A heavy summons lies like lead upon me, and yet I would not sleep. Merciful powers, restrain in me the cursed thoughts that nature gives way to in repose. Give me my sword. Who's that?
A friend!
Oh, what, sir? Not yet at rest? The king's abed. He hath been an unusual pleasure, sent forth great largesse to your offices.
Being unprepared, our will became the servant to defect, which else should free have wrought.
All's well. I dreamt last night of the three weird sisters. To you they have showed some truth.
I think not of them. Yet, when we can entreat an hour to serve, we would spend it in some words upon that business, if you would grant the time.
At your kindest leisure.
If you shall cleave to my consent when 'tis, it shall make honor for you.
So I lose none in seeking to augment it, and still keep my bosom franchised and my legions clear. It shall be counseled.
Good repose the while.
Thanks, sir, the like to you.
Go, bid thy mistress, when my drink is ready, she strike upon the bell. Get thee to bed. Is this a dagger which I see before me? The handle toward my hand. Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou a dagger of the mind, a false creation proceeding from the heat-oppressed brain? I see thee yet, in form as palpable as this which now I draw. Thou marshalst me the way that I was going, and such an instrument I was to use. Mine eyes are made the fools of the other senses, or else worth all the rest. I see thee still, and on thy blade in dudgeon gouts of blood, which was not so before. There's no such thing. It is the bloody business which informs thus to mine eyes. Over the one half world, nature seems dead. Wicked dreams abuse the curtain's sleep. Witchcraft celebrates pale Hecate's offerings and withered murder, alarmed by his sentinel, the wolf, whose howls his watch. Thus, with his stealthy pace, with Tarquin's ravishing strides towards his design, moves like a ghost. Now, sure and firm set earth, hear not my steps, which way they walk, for fear thy very stones prate of my whereabouts, and take the present horror from the time which now suits with it. Whilst I threat, he lives. Words to the heat of deeds too cold breath gives. I go, and 'tis done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell.
That which hath made them drunk hath made me bold. What hath quenched them hath given me fire. It was the owl that shrieked, the fatal bellman that gives the sternest good night. He is about it. The doors are open, and the surfeited grooms do mock their charge with snores. I have drugged their possets, that death and nature do contend about them, whether they live or die.
Who's there? What? Oh!
Alack! I'm afraid they have awaked, and 'tis not done. The attempt and not the deed confounds us. Hark! I laid their daggers ready. He could not miss them. Had he not resembled my father as he slept, I had done't. My husband.
I have done the deed. Didst thou not hear a noise?
I heard the owl scream, and the crickets cry. Did not you speak?
When?
Now.
As I descended?
Aye.
Hark, who lies in the second chamber?
Malcolm.
This is a sorry sight.
Foolish thought to say a sorry sight.
There's one did laugh in sleep, and one cried murder, that they did wake each other. I stood and heard them, but they did say their prayers, and addressed them again to sleep.
There are two lodged together.
One cried, God bless us, and amen, the other, as they had seen me with these hangman's hands listening their fear. I could not say amen when they did say, God bless us.
Consider it not so deeply.
But wherefore could I not say amen? I had most need of blessing, and amen stuck in my throat.
These deeds must not be thought after these ways, so it will make us mad.
Methought I heard a voice cry, sleep no more. Macbeth does murder sleep. The innocent sleep. Sleep that knits up the raveled sleeve of care, death of each day's life, sore labor's bath, balm of hurt minds, great nature's second course, chief nourisher.
What do
in
you
life's
mean?
be still. I heard it cry, sleep no more to all the house. Glamis does murder sleep, and therefore Cawdor shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
Who was it that thus cried? My worthy Thane, you do unbend your noble strength to think so brain-sickly of things. Go get some water and wash this filthy witness from your head. Why did you bring these daggers from the place? They must lie there. Go, carry them and smear the sleepy grooms with blood.
I'll go no more. I'm afraid to think what I have done. Look on't again, I dare not.
Infirm of purpose, give me the daggers. The sleeping and the dead are but as pictures. 'Tis the eye of childhood that fears a painted devil. If he do bleed, I'll gild the faces of the grooms withal, for it must seem their guilt.
Whence is that knocking? How is with me when every noise appalls me? what hands are here? They pluck out mine eyes. Will all great Neptune's oceans wash this blood clean from my hand? No, this, my hand, will rather the multitudinous seas incarnadine, making the green one red.
My hands are of your color, but I shame to wear a heart so white. Hark, I hear knocking at the south entry. Retire we to our chamber. A little water clears us of this deed. How easy is it then? Your constancy hath left you unattended. Hark, more knocking. Put on your nightgown, lest occasion call us and show us to be watchers. Be not lost so poorly in your thoughts.
To know my deed, 'twere best not know myself. Wake, Duncan, with thy knocking! I would thou couldst.
Here's a knocking indeed. If a man were porter of Hell Gate, he should have all turning the key. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there in the name of Beelzebub? Here's a farmer who hanged himself on the expectation of plenty. Come in time, have napkins now about you. Here, you'll sweat for it. Knock, knock. Who's there in the other devil's name? Faith, here's an equivocator who could swear in both the scales against either scale who committed treason enough for God's sake, yet could not equivocate to heaven. Oh, come in, equivocator. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there? Faith, here's an English tailor come hither for stealing out of a French hose. Oh, come in, tailor. Here you may roast your goose. Knock, knock, knock. Never, it's quiet. What are you? What? Oh, this place is too cold for hell. I'll devil porter it no further. I had thought to let in some of every profession that goes the primrose way to the everlasting bonfire. Anon, anon, I pray you. Remember the porter?
Was it so late, friend, ere you went to bed, that you do lie so late?
Faith, sir, we were carousing till the second cock, and drink, sir, is a great provoker of three things.
What three things does drink especially provoke?
Marry, sir, nose painting, sleep, and urine. Lechery, sir, it provokes and unprovokes. It provokes the desire, but takes away the performance. Therefore, much drink may be said to be an equivocator with lechery. It makes him and it mars him. It sets him on and takes him off, persuades him and disheartens him, makes him stand to and not stand to. In conclusion, equivocates him in a sleep, and giving him the lie leaves him.
I believe drink gave thee the lie last night.
That it did, sir, in the very throat on me. But I requited him for his lie, and I think being too strong for him, though he'd take off my legs at some time, yet I made a shift to cast him off.
Is thy master stirring? Our knocking hath awaked him. Here he comes.
Good morrow, noble sir.
Good morrow, all.
Is the king stirring, worthy thane?
Not yet.
He did command me to call timely on him. I have almost slipped the hour.
I'll bring you to him.
I know this is a trifle trouble to you, but yet 'tis one.
The labor we delight in physics pain. This is the door.
I'll make so bold to call, which is my limited service.
Goes the king hence today?
He does. He did appoint so.
Oh, the night has been unruly. Where we did lay, our chimneys were blown down, and as they say, lamentings heard in the air, strange screams of death and prophesying with accents terrible.
Some say the earth was feverous and did shake.
'Twas a rough night.
My young remembrance cannot parallel a fellow to it.
Oh, horror! Horror! Horror!
What's the matter?
Confusion now hath made his masterpiece. Most sacrilegious murder hath broke up the Lord's anointed temple and stole thence the life of the building.
What is you say, the life?
Mean you his majesty?
Approach the chamber and destroy your sight with a new Gorgon. Do not bid me speak. See, and then speak yourselves. Awake! Awake! Ring the alarum bell. Murder and treason. Banquo, Malcolm, awake! Shake off this downy sleep, death's counterfeit, and look upon death itself. Malcolm, Banquo, ring the bell! Awake!
What's the business that such a hideous trumpet calls to parley the sleepers of the house? Speak! Speak!
Oh, gentle lady, 'tis not for you to hear what I can speak. The repetition in a woman's ear would murder as it fell. Oh, Banquo, Banquo, our royal master is murdered.
Oh, alas, what in our house?
Too cruel anywhere. Dear Duff, I prithee contradict thyself. Say it is not so.
Had I but died an hour before this chance, I had lived a blessed time. For from this instant there is nothing serious in mortality. All is but toys. Renown and grace is dead. The wine of life is drawn, and the mere lees is left this vault to brag of.
What is this?
You are, and do not know it. The spring, the head, the fountain of your blood is stopped. The very source of it is stopped.
Your royal father is murdered.
By whom?
Those of his chamber, as it seemed, had done it. Their hands and faces were all badged with blood. So were their daggers, which unwiped we found upon their pillows. They stared and were distracted. No man's life was to be trusted with them.
But yet I do repent me of my fury that I did kill them.
Wherefore did you so?
Who can be wise, amazed, furious and temperate, loyal and neutral in a moment? No man. The expedition of my violent love outrun the pauser reason. Here lies Duncan, his silver skin laced with his golden blood. His gashed stabs look like a breach in nature for ruin's wasteful entrance. There, his murderers, steeped in the colors of their trade, their daggers unmannerly breached with gore. Who could refrain that had a heart to love, and in that heart courage to make love known?
Help me, Hans.
Look to the lady.
Look to the lady. And when we have our naked frailties hid that suffer in exposure, let us meet and question this most bloody piece of work to know it further. Fears and scruples shake us. In the great hand of God I stand, and thence against the undivulged pretense I fight of treasonous malice.
So do I.
So all, let us briefly put on manly readiness and meet in the hall together.
Well contented.
I'll not consort with them. To show an unfelt sorrow is an office which the false man does easy. I'll to England. Where I am, there's daggers in men's smiles, the near in blood, the nearer bloody. Therefore to horse. There's warrant in that theft which steals itself when there's no mercy left.
How goes the world, sir, now?
Why, see you not?
Malcolm, the king's son, hath stolen away and fled to England.
Which puts upon him suspicion of his father's death.
So that 'tis most like the sovereignty will fall upon Macbeth.
Ah, he is already named and gone to Scone to be invested.
Will you to Scone?
No, cousin. I'll to Fife.
Well, I will thither.
Well, may you see things well done there. Adieu, lest our old roads sit easier than our new.
God's benison go with you, and with those who would make good of bad, and friends of foes.
hast it now. King, Cawdor, Glamis, all as the weird women promised. And I fear thou playedst most foully for it. Yet it was said it would not stand in thy posterity, but that myself should be the root and father of many kings. There come truth from them. As upon thee, Macbeth, their speeches shine. Why, by the verities on thee made good, may they not be my oracles as well, and set me up in hope? But hush, no more.
Here's our chief guest.
If he had been forgot, it had been as a gap in our great feast, and in all thing unbecoming.
Tonight we hold a solemn supper, sir, and I'll request your presence.
Let your highness command upon me, to the which my duties are with the most indissoluble tie forever knit.
Ride you this afternoon.
Aye, my good lord.
We should have else desired your good advice, which still hath been both grave and prosperous in this day's council. But we'll take tomorrow. Is't far you ride?
As far, my lord, as will fill up the time twixt this and supper. Go not my horse the better, I must become a borrower of the night for a dark hour or twain.
Fail not our feast.
My lord, I will not.
We hear our bloody cousin is bestowed in England, not confessing his cruel parricide, filling his hearers with strange invention. But of that tomorrow, when therewithal we shall have cause of state craving us jointly. Hie you to horse. Adieu. Till you return at night. Goes Fleance with you?
Aye, my good lord. Our time does call upon us.
I wish your horses swift of sure of foot, and so I do commend you to their backs. Farewell. Till 7 at night, to make society the sweeter welcome, we will keep ourselves till supper time alone. Seaton, a word with you. Attend those men our pleasure.
They are, my lord, without the palace gate.
Bring them before us. To be thus is nothing, but to be safely thus. Our fears in Banquo stick deep, and in his royalty of nature reigns that which would be feared. 'Tis much he dares. And to that dauntless temper of his mind, he hath a wisdom that doth guide his valor to act in safety. There is none but he whose being I do fear. And under him, my genius is rebuked, as it is said Mark Antony's was by Caesar. He chid the sisters when first they put the name of king upon me and bade them speak to him. Then, prophet-like, they hailed him father to a line of kings. Upon my head they placed a fruitless crown, put a barren scepter in my grip, thence to be wrenched by an unlineal hand, no son of mine succeeding. If it be so, for Banquo's issue have I filed my mind. For them, the gracious Duncan, have I murdered, put breakers in the vessel of my peace, only for them, and mine eternal jewel, given to the common enemy of man, to make them kings, the seed of Banquo kings. Rather than so. Come, fate, into the list. Champion me to the utterance. Who's there? Stay. Was it not yesterday we spoke together?
It was, so please your highness.
Well then, now, have you considered of my speeches? Know that it was he in times past that held you so under fortune, which you thought had been our innocent self. This I made good to you in our last conference, passed in probation with you, how you were borne in hand, how crossed the instruments who wrought with them, and all things else that might to half a soul or to a notion crazed say, thus did Banquo.
You made it known to us.
I did so. and went further, which is now our point of second meeting. Do you find your patience so predominant in your nature that you can let this go? Are you so gospeled to pray for this good man and for his issue, whose heavy hand hath bowed you to the grave and beggared yours forever?
We are men, my liege.
Aye. In the catalogue ye go for men. As hounds and greyhounds, mongrels, spaniels, curs, shows, water rugs, and demi-wolves are clept all by the name of dogs. The value file distinguishes the swift, the slow, the subtle, the housekeeper, the hunter, everyone, according to the gift which bounteous nature hath in him closed, whereby he does receive particular addition from the bill that writes them all alike, and so of men. Now, if you have a station in the file, not in the worst rank of manhood, say it, and I will put that business into your bosoms, whose execution takes your enemy off, grapples you to the heart and love of us, who wear our health but sickly in his life, which in his death were perfect.
I am one, my liege, whom the vile blows and buffets of the world have so incensed that I am reckless what I do to spite the world.
And I another, so weary with disasters, tugged with fortune, that I would set my life on any chance to mend it or be rid on't.
Both of you know Banquo was your enemy.
True, my lord.
So is he mine. And in such bloody distance that every minute of his being thrusts against my nearest of life. Though I could, with barefaced power, sweep him from my sight and bid my will avouch it, yet I must not. For certain friends that are both his and mine, whose loves I may not drop, who but wail his fall that I myself struck down. And thence it is that I to your assistance do make love, masking the business from the common eye, for sundry weighty reasons.
We shall, my lord, perform what you command us.
Though our lives...
Your spirits shine through you. Within this hour at most, I will advise you where to plant yourself, acquaint you with the perfect spy of the time, the moment on't, for it must be done tonight. And something from this palace. Always thought that I require a clearness, and with him, to leave no rubs nor botches in the work, flayons. His son that keeps him company, whose absence is no less material to me than is his father's, must embrace the fate of that dark hour. Resolve yourselves apart. I'll come to you anon.
We are resolved, my lord.
I'll call upon you straight. Abide within. It is concluded. Banquo, thy soul's flight, if it find heaven, must find it out tonight.
Is Banquo gone from court?
Aye, madam, but returns again tonight.
Say to the king I would attend his leisure for a few words.
Madam, I will.
Nuts had all spent, where our desire is got without content. 'Tis safer to be that which we destroy than by destruction dwell in doubtful joy. How now, my lord? Why do you keep alone? Of sorriest fancies your companions making, using those thoughts which indeed should have died with them they think on. Things without all remedy should be without regard. What's done is done.
We have scotched the snake, not killed it. She'll close and be herself, whilst our poor malice is in danger of her former tooth. But let the frame of things disjoint. Both the world suffer, ere we will eat our meal in fear and sleep in the affliction of these terrible dreams that shake us nightly. Better be with the dead, whom we, to gain our peace, have sent to peace, than on the torture of the mind to lie in restless ecstasy. Duncan's in his grave. After life's fitful fever, he sleeps well. Treason has done his worst. Nor steel, nor poison, malice domestic, foreign levy, nothing can touch him further.
Come on, gentle, my lord. Sleep o'er your rugged looks, be bright and jovial among your guests tonight.
So shall I, love. So I pray, be you. Let your remembrance apply to Banquo. Present him eminence, both with eye and tongue. Unsafe the while that we must lave our honors in these flattering streams and make our faces vizards to our hearts, disguising what they are.
You must leave this.
Oh, full of scorpions is my mind, dear wife. Thou knowst Banquo and his flayance lives.
But in them nature's copy's not etern.
There's comfort yet. They are assailable. Be thou jocund. Ere the bat hath flown his cloistered flight, ere to black Hecate's summons, the shard-born beetle whose drowsy hums hath rung night's yawning peal, there shall be done a deed of dreadful note.
What's to be done?
Be innocent of the knowledge, dearest Chuck, till thou applaud the deed. Come, sealing night, scarf up the tender eye of pitiful day, and with thy bloody and invisible hand cancel and tear to pieces that great bond which keeps me pale. Light thickens, and the crow makes wing to the rooky wood. Good things of day begin to droop and to drowse, while night's black agents to their praise do rouse. Thou marvelst at my words, but hold still. Things bad begun make strong themselves by ill. So prithee, go with me.
But who did bid thee join with us? Macbeth. He needs not our mistrust, since he delivers our offices and what we have to do to the direction just.
Then stand with us. While the western sky, it glimmers with some streaks of day. Now spurs the laden traveler pace to gain the timely inn, and near approaches the subject of our watch.
Hark, I hear horses. Then 'tis he. The rest that are within the note of expectation already are in the court.
His horses go about.
About a mile, but he does so usually, so all men do. From hence to the palace gate, make it their walk.
A light, a light!
Says he.
Stand to!
It will be rain tonight. Let it come down!
Ah, treachery! Fly, Flames! Fly!
There's no one down. The sun is fled.
We've lost us half of our affair.
Well, let's away, and say how much is done.
You know your own degrees. To first and last, the hearty welcome.
Thanks to your majesty.
Ourself will mingle with society and play the humble host. Our hostess keeps her state, but in best time we shall require her welcome.
Pronounce it
See, they encounter thee with their heart's thanks. Be large in mirth. Anon, we'll drink a measure the company round. There's blood upon thy face. 'Tis Banquo, then. 'Tis better thee without than he within. Is he dispatched?
My lord, his throat is cut. That I did for him.
Thou art the best of the cutthroats. Yet he's good that did the like for Fleance. If thou didst it, thou art the nonpareil.
Most royal Sir Fleance escaped.
Then comes my fit again. I had else been perfect, whole as a marble, founded as a rock, as broad and general as the casing air. And now I am cabined, cribbed, confined, bound in to saucy doubts and fears. But Banquo's safe.
Aye, my lord, safe in a ditch he bides.
Thanks for that. There, the grown serpent lies. The worm that's fled hath nature that in time will venom breed. No teeth for the present.
My royal lord, you do not give the cheer. The gathering is sold, that is not often vouched. Meeting were bare without it.
Sweet remembrancer. Now, good digestion wait on appetite, and health on both. Here, had we now our country's honor roofed, were the graced person of our Banquo present, who I might rather challenge for unkindness than pity for mischance.
His absence, sir, lays blame upon his promise. Pleased your highness to grace us with your royal company?
What is that moves your royal highness?
Which of you have done this? Thou canst not say I did! Never shake thy gory locks at me!
Gentlemen, his highness is not well.
Stay, worthy friends. My lord is often thus, and hath been from his youth. The fit is momentary. Upon the thought he will again be well, if much you note him. You shall offend him and extend his passion. Drink, and regard him not. Are you a man?
Aye, and a bold one that dare look on that which might appall the devil.
Proper stuff. This is the very painting of your fear. This is the air-drawn dagger which you said led you to Duncan. Oh, these flaws and starts, imposters to true fear would well become a woman's story at a winter's fire authorized by her grandam. Shame itself! Why do you make such faces? When all's done, you look but on a stool.
Prithee, see there! Behold, look low, what say you? Why, what care I? If thou canst nod, speak too! If charnel houses and our graves must send those that we bury back, our monuments shall be the maws of kites.
Quite unmanned and fallen.
If I stand here, I saw him.
Fie for shame.
Blood had been shed ere now. In the olden times, ere human statute purged the gentle wheel, aye, and since too, murders have been performed too terrible for the ear. The times have been when the brains were out, the man would die, and there an end. Now they rise again with 20 mortal murders on their crowns and push us from our stools. This is more strange than such a murder is.
My worthy lord, your noble friends do lack you.
I do forget. Do not muse at me, my most worthy friends. I have a strange infirmity, which is nothing to those that know me. Come, love and health to all. Then I'll sit down. Give me some wine. Fill, full. I drink to the general joy, and to our dear friend Banquo, whom we miss. Would he were here. To all. To him we thirst, and all to all.
Our duties and the pledge.
Avaunt, and quit my sight! Let the earth hide thee. Thy bones are marrowless. Thy blood is cold. Thou hast no speculation in those eyes which thou dost glare with.
Think of this, good peers, but as a thing of custom, 'tis no other. Only it spoils the pleasure of the time.
What man dare? I dare. Approach thou like the rugged Russian bear, the armed rhinoceros, or the Hyrcan tiger. Take any shape but that, and my firm nerves shall never tremble or be alive again. And dare me to the desert with thy sword. If trembling I inhabit, then protest me, the baby of a girl. Hence, horrible shadow, unreal mockery, hence! Why so? Being gone, I am a man again.
You have displaced the mirth, broke the good meeting with most admired disorder.
Can such things be, and overcome us like a summer's cloud? Without our special wonder, you make me strange, even to the disposition that I owe. When now I think you can behold such sights and keep the natural ruby of your cheeks, when mine is blanched with fear.
What sights, my lord?
I pray you speak not. He grows worse and worse. Question enrages him. At once, good night. Stand not upon the order of your going, but go at once.
Good night, and better health attend his
A
men.
kind good night to all.
It will have blood, they say. Blood will have blood. Stones have been known to move, and trees to speak. Augurs and understood relations have, by magpies and choughs and rooks, brought forth the secrets man of blood. What is the night?
Almost at odds with morning, which is which.
How sayest thou that Macduff denies his person at our great bidding?
Did you send to him, sir?
I hear it by the way, but I will send. There's not a one of them, but in his house I keep a servant feed. I will tomorrow, and betimes I will to the weird sisters. More shall they speak, for now I am bent to know by the worst means, the worst, for mine own good. All causes shall give way. I am in blood, stepped in so far that should I wade no more, returning were as tedious as go o'er. Strange things I have in head that will to hand, which must be acted ere they may be scanned.
You do lack the seasons of all nature. Sleep.
Come, will to sleep. My strange and self-abuse is the initiate fear that wants hard use. We are yet but young, indeed.
Thrice the brindled cat hath mewed.
Thrice, and once the hedge pig whined.
Harp your cries, 'tis time, 'tis time.
Round about the cauldron go, in the poisoned entrails throw toad, that under cold stone days and nights has 31 sweltered venom sleeping got. Boil thou first in the charmed pot.
Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble.
So that of a fenny snake, in a cauldron boil and bake. Eye of newt and toe of frog, will of bat and tongue of dog. Adder's fork and blind worm, a charm of powerful trouble, like a hell broth boil and bubble.
Double, double, toil and trouble, fire, burn, and cauldron bubble.
Scale of dragon, tooth of wolf, witch's mummy, maw and gulf of the raven, salt sea shark. Fruit of hemlock digged in the dark, finger of birth strangled babe, ditch delivered by a drab, make the gruel thick and slab.
Double, double, toil and trouble, fire, burn, and cauldron bubble. Cool it with a baboon's blood, then the charm is firm and good.
By the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes.
Open locks, whoever knocks.
Now, you secret black and midnight hags. What is it you do?
A deed without a name.
I conjure you, by that which you profess, however you come to know it, answer me. Though you untie the winds and let them fight against the churches, though yeasty waves confound and swallow navigation up, though bladed corn be lodged and trees blown down, even till destruction sicken, answer me to what I ask you.
Speak,
Demand.
We'll answer.
say if thou'st rather hear it from our mouths or from our masters.
Call 'em. Let me see 'em.
Pouring sow's blood that hath eaten her 9 pharaoh, grease neck sweating from the murderer's gibbet, thrown to the flame.
Come high or low, thyself in office deftly show.
Macbeth! Macbeth! Macbeth!
Tell me, thou unknown power.
He knows thy thought. Hear his speech, but say thou not.
Beware, Macduff! Beware the Thane of Fife! Dismiss me! Enough!
Whatever thou art, for thy good caution, thanks. Thou hast heart my fear aright. But one word more.
He will not be commanded. Here's another, more potent than the first.
Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth.
Had I 3 ears, I'd hear thee.
Be bloody, bold, and resolute. Laugh to scorn the power of man, for none of woman born shall harm Macbeth.
Then live, Macduff. What need I fear of thee? But yet, I'll make assurance double sure, and take a bond of faith thou shalt not live, that I may tell pale-hearted fear it lies, and sleep in spite of thunder. What is this that rises like the issue of a king, and wears upon his baby brow the round and top of sovereignty?
Listen, but speak not to it. Be lion-mettled, proud, and take no care who chafes, who frets, or where conspirers are. Macbeth will never vanquished be, till great Burnham wood to high Dunsinane hill shall come against him.
That will never be. Who can impress the forest, bid the tree unfix his earthbound root? Sweet bodements, good. Rebellion's head, rise, never till the wood of Burnham rise. And our high-placed Macbeth shall live the lease of nature, pay his breath to time and mortal custom. Yet my heart throbs to know one thing more. Tell me, if thou art can tell so much, will Banquo's issue ever reign in this kingdom?
Seek to know no more.
I will be satisfied. Deny me this, and an eternal curse fall on you.
Show!
Show his eyes and grieve his heart. Come, like shadows, so depart.
Thou art too like the issue of Banquo. Down! A crown to sear my eyeballs. Thy hair, thou other gold-bound brow is like the first, the third is like the former. Filthy hags, why do you show me this? The fourth, start eyes, what will the line stretch out to the crack of doom? Another yet, a seventh, I'll see no more. And yet the eighth appears. It bears a glass, which shows me many more. And some I see the twofold balls and treble scepters carry. Horrible sight! Now I see 'tis true, for the blood-boltered Banquo smiles upon me and points at them for his. What is this so?
Aye, sir, all this is so.
Where are they? Gone? Let this pernicious hour stand I accursed in the calendar! Come in without there.
What's your grace's will?
Saw you the weird sisters?
No, my lord.
Came they not by you?
No, indeed, my lord.
Infected be the air whereon they ride, and damned all those that trust them. I did hear the galloping of horse. Who was it came by?
'Tis 2 or 3, my lord, which come to bring you word Macduff is fled to England.
Fled to England.
Aye, my good lord.
Thou anticipatest my dread exploits. The flighty purpose is never overtook unless the deed go with it. From this moment, the very firstlings of my heart shall be the firstlings of my hand. And even now, to crown my thoughts with acts, be it thought and done. The castle of Macduff I will surprise. Seize upon Fife. Give to the edge of the sword his wife, his babes, and all unfortunate souls that trace him in his line. No boasting like a fool. This deed I'll do before the purpose cool. But no more sights! Where are these gentlemen? Bring me where they are.
What had he done to make him fly the land?
You must have patience, madam.
He had none. His flight was madness. When our actions do not, our fears do make us traitors.
You know not whether it was his wisdom or his fear.
Wisdom! To leave his wife, to leave his babes, his mansion and his titles in a place from whence himself does fly.
My dearest coz, I pray you school yourself. But for your husband, he is noble, wise, judicious, and knows best the fits of the season. I dare not speak much further, but cruel are the times when we are traitors and do not know ourselves, when we hold rumor from what we fear and know not what we fear. I take my leave of you. Things at the worst will cease or else climb upward to what they were before. My pretty cousin, blessing upon you.
Fathered he is, and yet he's fatherless.
I am so much a fool. Should I stay longer, it would be my disgrace and your discomfort. I take my leave at once.
Sirrah, your father's dead. And what will you do now? How will you live?
As birds do, Mother.
What? With worms and flies?
With what I get. I mean, so do they.
Poor bird. Thou'dst never fear the net nor lime, the pitfall nor the gin.
Why should I, Mother? My father's not dead for all your sins.
Yes, he is dead. How wilt thou do for a father?
How will thou do for a husband?
Why, I can buy me 20 at any market.
You'll buy him to sell again.
Thou speakst with all thy wit, and yet in faith with wit enough for thee.
Is my father a traitor, Mother?
Aye, that he was.
What is a traitor?
Why, one that swears and lies.
And be all traitors that do so?
Everyone that does so is a traitor and must be hanged.
And must they all be hanged that swear and lie?
Everyone.
And who must hang them?
Why, the honest men.
So the liars and swears are fools, for they are liars and swears, and now to beat the honest men and hang up them.
Oh, God help thee, poor monkey. But how wilt thou do for a father?
If my father were dead, you'd weep for him. If he were not, it would be a good sign that I should quickly have a new father.
Poor prattler, how thou talkst.
Bless you, fair dame. I am not too, you know, though in your state of honor I am perfect. I doubt some danger does approach you nearly. If you will take a homely man's advice, be not found here. Hence, with your little ones! To fright you thus, methinks I am too savage. To do worse to you were fell cruelty, which is too nigh your person. Heaven preserve you! I dare bide no longer!
Whither should I fly? I have done no harm! But I remember now. I am in this earthly world, where to do harm is often laudable. To do good, sometime accounted dangerous folly. Why then, alas, do I put up that womanly defense to say I have done no harm? What are these faces?
Where is your husband?
I hope in no place so unsanctified where such as thou mayest find him.
He's a traitor.
Thou liest, thou shag-haired
Oh, what you egg? Let us seek out some desolate shade, and there weep our sad bosoms empty.
Let us rather hold fast the mortal sword, and like good men bestride our downfall and birthdom. Each new morn, new widows howl, new orphans cry, new sorrows strike heaven on the face, that it resounds as if it felt with Scotland and yelled out like syllable of dolo.
What I believe, I'll wail. What no believe, and what I can address, as I shall find the time to friend, I will. What you have spoke, it may be so, perchance. This tyrant, whose sole name blisters our tongues, was once thought honest. You have loved him well. He hath not touched you yet. I am young, but something you may deserve of him through me.
I am not treacherous.
But Macbeth is. A good and virtuous nature may recoil in an imperial charge. Angels were bright, though the brightest fell. Though all things foul would wear the brows of grace, yet grace must still look so.
I have lost my hopes.
Perchance even there where I did find my doubts. Why, in that rawness, left you wife and child? Those precious motives, those strong knots of love without leave-taking, I pray you, let not my jealousies be your demotions, but rather mine own insecurities. You may be rightly just, whatever I shall think.
Bleed, bleed, poor country. Great tyranny, lay thou thy basis sure, for goodness dare not check thee. Wear thy wrongs, the title is afeard. Fare thee well, Lord. I would not be the villain that thou thinkst, for the whole space that's in the tyrant's grasp, and the rich east to boot.
Be not offended. I speak not as an absolute fear of you. I think our country sinks beneath the yoke. It weeps, it bleeds, and each new day a gash is added to her wounds. I think with awe there would be hands uplifted in my right, and here, from gracious England, have we offer of goodly thousands. But for all this, when I shall tread on the tyrant's head, or wear it on my sword, yet my poor country shall have more vices than it had before, more suffer, and more sundry ways than ever by him that shall succeed.
What should he be?
It is myself, I mean. in whom I know all the particulars of vice so grafted that when they shall be opened, black Macbeth will seem as pure as snow, and the poor state esteem him as a lamb, being compared with my confineless arms.
Not in the legions a horrid hell can come a devil more damned than evils to top Macbeth.
I grant him bloody, luxurious, avaricious, false, deceitful, sudden, malicious, smacking of every sin that has a name, but there is no bottom, none in my voluptuousness. Your wives, your daughters, your matrons, and your maids could not fill up the cistern of my lust. Better Macbeth than such a one to reign.
Boundless intemperance in nature is a tyranny. But fear not yet to take upon you what is yours. We have willing dames enough. There cannot be that vulture in you to devour so many as will to greatness dedicate themselves, finding it so inclined.
With this there grows in my most ill-composed affection a stanchless avarice, that were I king I should cut off the nobles for their lands, desire his jewels and this other's house, and my more having would be as a sauce to make me hunger more, that I should forge quarrels unjust against the good and loyal, destroying them for wealth.
This avarice sticks deeper, grows with more pernicious roots than summer seeming lust, and hath been the sword of our slain kings. Yet do not fear. Scotland hath poisons to fill up your will of your mere own. All these are portable with other graces, ways.
But I have none. The king becoming gracious as justice, verity, temperance, stableness, bounty, perseverance, mercy, lowliness, courage, fortitude, patience. I have no relish of them, but abound in the division of each several crime, acting in many ways. Nay, had I power, I should pour the sweet milk of concord into hell, uproar the universal peace, confound all unity on earth.
Oh, Scotland, Scotland!
If such a one be fit to govern, speak. I am as I have spoken.
Fit to govern? No, not to live. O nation miserable, with untitled tyrant, bloody sceptred, when shalt thou know thy wholesome days again? Since that the truest issue of thy throne, by his own interdiction stands accursed, and does blaspheme his breed. Thy royal father was a most sainted king, the queen that bore thee, oftener upon her knees than on her feet, died every day she lived. Fare thee well. These evils thou repeatest upon thyself have banished me from Scotland. Oh, my rest, thy hope ends here.
Macduff, this noble passion, child of integrity, hath from my soul wiped the black scruples. Devilish Macbeth, by many of these trains, hath sought to win me into his power, and modest wisdom plucks me from over-credulous haste. But God above, deal between thee and me. I am yet unknown to woman. Never was forsworn, scarcely have coveted what was mine own, at no point broke my faith, would not betray the devil to his fellow, and delight no less in truth than life. What I am truly is thine, and my poor country's to command, whither indeed, before thy here approach, 10,000 warlike men were setting forth. Now will together, and the chance of goodness be like our warranted quarrel. Why are you silent?
Such welcome and unwelcome things at once. 'Tis hard to reconcile.
Well, more anon. But who comes here? It is my countryman, but yet I know him not.
My ever gentle cousin, welcome hither.
I know him now. Oh, good God. Times remove the means that make us strangers.
Sir, amen.
Stand Scotland where it did.
Alas, poor country, almost afraid to know itself. It cannot be called our mother, but our grave.
Oh, relation, too nice and yet too true.
What's the newest grief?
That of an hour's age doth hiss the speaker. Each minute teems a new one.
How does my wife?
Why, well.
And all my children?
Well, too.
The tyrant has not battered at their peace.
No, they were well at peace when I did leave them.
Be not so grudging of your speech. How goes it?
When I came hither to transport the tidings which I have heavily borne, there ran a rumor of many worthy fellows that were out. Now is the time of help. Your eye in Scotland would create soldiers, make our women fight to doff their dire distresses.
Be it their comfort, we are coming thither. Gracious England hath lent us here 10,000 armed men.
Would I could answer this comfort with the like. But I have words that would be howled out in the desert air, where hearing should not latch them.
What concern they? Is it the general cause or a fee grief due some single breast?
No mind that's honest, but in it bears some woe, though the main part pertains to you alone.
If it be mine, keep it not from me. Quickly, let me have it.
Let not your ears despise my tongue forever, which shall possess them with the heaviest sound that ever yet they heard.
I guess at it.
Your castle is surprised, your wife and babe savagely slaughtered. To relate the manner were on the quarry of these murdered deer, to add the death of you.
Merciful heavens. What, man? Ne'er pull your hat upon your brows. Give sorrow words. The grief that does not speak whispers the o'erfraught heart and bids it break.
My children, too.
Wife, children, servants, all that could be found.
I must be from thence. My wife killed, too.
I have said.
Be comforted. Let us make us medicines of our great revenge to cure this deadly grief.
He has no children. Oh, my pretty ones. Did you say all? Oh, hell kite. All my pretty chickens and their dam in one fell swoop.
Dispute it like a man.
I shall do so. But I must also feel it like a man. I cannot but remember such things that were most precious to me. Did heaven look on and would not take their part? Sinful Macduff, they were all struck for thee. Not that I am, not for their own demerits, but for mine fell slaughter on their souls. Heaven rest them now.
Be this the whetstone of your sword. Let grief convert to anger. Blunt not the heart, enrage it.
Oh, I could play the woman with my eyes, and the braggart with my tongue. But gentle heavens, cut short all intermission. Front to front, bring now this fiend of Scotland and myself. Within my sword's length set him, and if he scape, heaven forgive him too.
Come, go we to the king. Our power is ready. Our lack is nothing but our leave. Macbeth is ripe for shaking, and the powers above put on their instruments. Receive what cheer you may. The night is long that never finds the day.
I have 2 nights watched with you and can perceive no truth in your report. When was it she last walked?
Since His Majesty went into the field, I've seen her rise from her bed, throw her nightgown upon her, unlock her closet, take forth paper, fold it, write upon it, read it, afterwards seal it, and again return to bed. Yet all this will in a most fast sleep.
Besides her walking, what at any time have you heard her say?
That, sir, which I will not report after her.
Oh, you may to me, and 'tis most meet you should.
Neither to you nor anyone, having no witness to confirm my speech. Lo you, here she comes. This is her very guise, and upon my life fast asleep.
How came she by that light?
She has light by her continually, 'tis her command.
You see her eyes are open.
Aye, but their sense is shut.
Look how she rubs her hands.
I've known her continue this a quarter of an hour.
Yet, here's a spot. Out, damn spot, out, I say. 1, 2. Why then, 'tis time to do it. none can call our power to account. Yet, who would have thought the old man to have had so much blood in him?
You are that?
The Thane of Fife had a wife. Where is she now? What will these hands ne'er be clean? No more of that, my lord. No more of that. You mar all with this starving.
Goat. You have done what you should not.
Here's the smell of the blood still. All the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this little hand.
The sigh is there. The heart is sorely charged.
I would not have such a heart in my bosom for the dignity of the whole body.
This disease is beyond my practice.
Wash your hands. Put on your nightgown. Look not so pale. I tell you yet again, Banquo's buried. He cannot come out on his grave. To bed. To bed. There's a knocking at the gate. Come. Give me your hand. What's done cannot be undone. To bed. To bed. To bed.
Will she go now to bed?
Directly.
Foul whisperings are abroad. Unnatural deeds do breed unnatural troubles, and infected minds to their deaf pillows will discharge their secrets. More need she the divine than the physician. God forgive us all. Look after her. Remove from her the means of all annoyance, and still keep eyes upon her. So good night. My mind she has mated and amazed my sight. And I think, but dare not speak.
Good night, good doctor.
No more reports! Let them fly, all! To Burnham Wood, removed to Dunsinane, I cannot taint with fear! It's the boy Malcolm. Was he not born of woman? The spirits that know all mortal consequences have pronounced me thus. Fear not, Macbeth. No man that's born of a woman shall ever have power upon thee. Then fly, false thanes, and mingle with the English epicures. The mind I sway by and the heart I bear shall never sag with doubt nor shake with fear. The devil damn thee black, thou cream-faced loon. Where got'st thou that goose look?
There's 10,000
Geese, villain?
soldiers, sir.
Go prick thy face, and o'erread thy fear, thou lily-livered boy. What soldiers, Patch? Death of thy soul. Those linen cheeks of thine are counselors to fear. What soldiers, Wayface?
The English force, so please you.
Take thy face hence! Seaton! I am sick at heart when I behold Seaton, I say! This push will cheer me ever, or deceit me now. I have lived long enough. My way of life has fallen into the sear, the yellow leaf, and that which should accompany old age as honor, love, obedience, troops of friends. This I must not look to have, but in their stead, curses, not loud but deep, mouth honor, breath which the poor heart would fain deny and dare not. Seaton!
What is your gracious pleasure?
What news more?
All is confirmed, my lord, which was reported.
I will fight till from my bones my flesh be hacked. Bring me my sword.
It is not needed yet.
I'll have it now. Send out more horses. Stir the country round. Hang those that talk of fear. Bring me my sword. How does your patient, doctor?
Not so sick, my lord, as she is troubled with thick-coming fancies that keep her from her rest.
Cure her of that. Canst thou not minister to a mind diseased? Pluck from the memory a rooted sorrow. Raise out the written troubles of the brain, and with some sweet oblivious antidote, cleanse the stuffed bosom of that perilous stuff which weighs upon the heart.
Therein the patient must minister to himself.
Throw physic to the dogs. I'll none of it. Bring me my sword. Seaton, send out. Doctor, the thanes fly from me. Come, sir, dispatch. If thou couldst, doctor, cast the water of my land. Find her disease and purge it to a sound and pristine health. I would applaud thee to the very echo that would applaud again. Pull it off, I say. What rhubarb, senna, or purgative drug would scour these English hence? Hearest thou of them?
My good lord, your royal preparation makes us hear something.
Arr! Bring it after me. I will not be afraid of death and bane till Burnham Forest come to Dunsinane.
Were I from Dunsinane away and clear, prophet again should hardly bring me here.
Cousins, I hope the days are near at hand that Chambers will be safe.
We doubted nothing.
What wood is this before us?
The wood of Burnham.
Let every soldier hew him down a bough and bear it before him. Thereby shall we shadow the numbers of our host and make discovery air in report of us.
It shall be done.
We learn no other but the tyrant keeps still in Dunsinane, and will endure our setting down before it.
'Tis his main hope, for where there is advantage to be given, both more and less have given him the revolt, and none serve with him, but constrained things whose hearts are absent too.
The time approaches that will, with due decision, make us know what we say we have and what we owe. Thoughts speculative their unsure hopes relate, yet certain issue strokes must arbitrate, towards which advance the war.
Hang out our banners on the outward walls. The cry is still, they come. Our castle's strength will laugh a siege to scorn. Here, let them lie till famine and the ague eat them up. Were they not forced with those that should be ours, we might have met them dareful, beard to beard, and beat them backward home. What is that noise? I have almost forgot the taste of fears. The time has been my senses would have cooled to hear a night shriek. My fell of hair would at a dismal treatise rouse and stir as life were in't. I have supped full of horrors. Direness, familiar to my slaughterous thoughts, cannot once start me. Wherefore was that cry?
The queen, my lord, is dead.
She should have died hereafter. There would have been time for such a word. Tomorrow. And tomorrow. And tomorrow. Creeps in this petty pace from day to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot. They're full of sound and fury. Signifying nothing. Thy comes to use thy tongue, thy story, quickly.
Gracious my lord, I should report that which I say I saw, but know not how to do it.
Well, say, sir.
As I did stand my watch upon the hill, I looked toward Burnham, and anon methought the wood began to move.
Liar and slave!
Let me into your wrath if it be not so. Within this 3 mile may you see it coming, I say, a moving growth.
If thy speech be false, upon the next tree shalt thou hang, alive, till famine cling thee. If thy speech be sooth, I care not if thou dost for me as much. I pull in resolution, begin to doubt the equivocation of the fiend that lies like truth. Fear not, till Burnham Wood do come to Dunsinane, and now a wood does come to Dunsinane. Arm, and out! If this which he avouches does appear, there is no flying hence, nor tarrying here. I begin to be aweary of the sun, and wish the estate of the world were now undone. Ring the alarum bell. Blow, wind. Come, rack. At least we'll die with harness on our back.
Now near enough! Your leafy screens throw down and show like those you are!
Tyrant, show thy face, if thou beest slain, and with no stroke of mine, my wife and children's ghosts will haunt me still. Let me find him fortune, and more I beg not.
They have tied me to a stake. I cannot fly, but bear-like, I must fight the course. What's he that was not born of woman? Such a one am I to fear or none. What is thy name? Thou wast born of woman. But swords, I smile at. Weapons, laugh to scorn. Brandished by a man that's of a woman born.
Turn, hellhound! Turn!
Of all men else, I have avoided thee, but get thee back. My soul is too much charged with blood of thine already.
I have no words. My voice is in my sword. Thou bloodier villain than terms can give thee out.
Thou losest labor. As easy mayest thou the intrenchant air with thy keen sword impress as make me bleed. Let fall thy blade on vulnerable crests. I bear a charmed life, which must not yield to one of woman born.
Spare thy charm, and let the angel whom thou still hast served tell thee, Macduff was from his mother's womb untimely ripped.
Cursed be the tongue that tells me so, for it hath cowed my better part of man, and be these juggling fiends no more believe that palter with us in a double sense, and keep the word of promise to our ear, and break it to our hope. I'll not fight with thee.
Then yield, coward, and live to be the show and gaze of the time. We'll have thee, as our rarer monsters are, painted on a pole and under it. Here may you see the tyrants.
I will not yield. To kiss the ground before young Malcolm's feet, and to be baited with the rabble's curse. Though Burnham would be come to Dunsinane, and thou oppose, being of no woman born, yet I will try the last. Lay on, Macduff, and damned be him that first cries hold. Enough!
Hail, King! For so thou art. Behold, where lies the usurpers, curses. The time is free. I see thee compassed with thy kingdom's pearl, that speak my salutation in their minds, whose voices I desire aloud with mine. Hail, King of Scotland!
Hail, King of Scotland! We shall not spend a large expanse of time before we reckon with your several loves. What's more to do, which would be planted newly with the time, as calling home our exiled friends abroad that fled the snares of watchful tyranny, producing forth the cruel ministers of this dead butcher and his fiend-like queen, who, as 'tis thought, with self and violent hands took off her own life. This and what needful else that calls upon us, by the grace of grace, we will perform in measure, time, and place. So thanks to all at once, and to each one whom we invite to see us crowned at Scone.
Hail!